After all these years, after so many different seasons, the Pokemon anime is finally coming to an end. And I say, good. So the Pokemon anime has been going on ever since I can remember, really, because I am that old, and I remember when Pokemon first started up, and it was like the big cultural craze of the century. I remember the early seasons of the anime, but after Pokemon Advance, I hopped off because they changed voice actors, the show changed art styles, there was a bunch of Pokemon I didn't know or didn't care about, I didn't have a DS, but when Pokemon was at its peak, it was great. I loved Pokemon Stadium, I loved Pokemon Snap, I loved all the different Pokemon games, I religiously watched the anime, I had all the VHS tapes, I was a big Pokemon fan. But that was past tense. It has been a long time since I cared about Pokemon or the Pokemon anime, and I don't think I'm ever really getting back into Pokemon, especially with the new stuff that they do. I don't like the art style, I don't like the Pokemon, I don't really like any of it. So when I heard Pokemon got an additional art style changed years ago, and now it looked even weirder, I especially didn't care about the anime. Oh, apparently, the anime is finally coming to an end. They're finally retiring Ash and Pikachu. And I think it's for the best, because I don't really care about Ash. I've quit caring about Ash a long time ago, and I've been hoping that eventually they would just kill off this over 20-year-old anime and do a different Pokemon anime. Because with Yu-Gi-Oh!, they've already had 7 protagonists? With Pokemon, it's just been Ash. And I am so tired of Ash. But what do you think, Luminous? You care more about Pokemon than I do. Give your thoughts.
Yes, I love Pokemon. I don't really like a lot of the modern stuff, but I still do really like Pokemon. And I watched the anime growing up. I didn't really have access for it during the third generation. I stopped watching it during the second generation because I didn't like that they changed stuff, but I still think that one was good. I think the fourth season, or fourth generation Diamond and Pearl of the anime was alright. This season was where I just completely hopped off. That one of the anime I thought was definitively the worst, and it was part of why I didn't like Gen 5. I think they really just could have gotten rid of Ash at that point. I think Ash had already overstayed his welcome in Diamond and Pearl, but I thought those were still okay enough. Black and White, he should have just been replaced, because he was basically reset back to Season 1 Ash, where he didn't know a goddamn thing about what a Pokemon was. And we had already been doing this for, fucking over 10 years by that point. He should know most of what's going on, and he didn't. And as a fan, watching it growing up with it, just sucked. I hated it. I understand it would be for new kids watching and getting into it, but for people who had been with the series for a long time, it just sucked. I would have much preferred if they got rid of Ash, someone that had been with us for a while, and introduced a new person, so we knew, yeah, this new person is not going to know anything. So it makes sense that they're going through the motions and learning what a Pokemon is and everything. And I really don't think Pokemon's been better since then. I kind of got back into it during Sun and Moon, but I think the anime was even worse at that point. And it makes me think even more. They should have just gotten rid of Ash a long time ago. And I'm so glad they finally are, because I think every new generation, maybe 2 new generations, they should replace the main protagonist. Because by that point, they already know the gist of what's going on. They've had a long time to understand what a Pokemon is. They've gone through the whole region. Maybe 2 regions by that point. I think it's fair enough to say, yeah, it's time to move on from this character. We need a new, fresh character for the face of it. Because probably by that point, it's already been a couple of years as well. So the people growing up with that one have already aged into more so where they would know what a Pokemon is as well. So if you have them reset again, like Ash did every fucking time, they're gonna get annoyed with it too. So I think they just need to refresh it every couple of generations with a new fucking pro tag.
So for me, Pokemon will always be that thing that I woke up on Saturday mornings to watch. The memories of Pokemon from my childhood are always going to be there. Getting the figures out of cereal boxes, going into the store and seeing it plumb full of Pokemon stuff. It's something that today's kids will never be able to experience. And I like having Pokemon as a nostalgia brand. But my invested interest in Pokemon has been gone for a long time. But before we go, we should mention that the new Pro Tag has been shown and the Sidekick has been shown. And a lot of people are speculating that this girl is Ash's daughter because she has a pendant in her hair that looks just like Ash's hat from Season 1. I want to believe this, but chances are Ash doesn't fuck, and this isn't his daughter, and it's just the hair thing is just to show that she's the new Pro Tag. But if it is Ash's daughter, I hope it's Ash and Misty and not any of the random girls, even though a lot of people think it's Dawn and there's good arguments for Dawn. I hope it's Ash and Misty because even the original showrunners for the anime in America wanted Ash and Misty to get together. They had a love song in the Pokemon album. Like, this has been something people wanted for a long time. So I would hope that it's them. If the main character is related to Ash, that would be cool. But chances are it's probably a complete refresh and we're probably not going to get conclusions that we want. Like, chances are Ash isn't going to be a grown-up at the end. Team Rocket, Jesse and James aren't going to get together. We're not going to see who's Ash's father is. Like, chances are we're not getting any of those answers. And if we do get those answers, good. Very happy. But I think it's just going to end and then we immediately transition over to new people and it pretends like the other anime didn't exist.